Hey, young black man and boy and everyone. So I am just doing this video right here because of an incident that happened in Hampton 2 days ago. Today is Wednesday the 1st of October. So this was, I think it was Monday night. There was a shooting, a double shooting. 19-year-old, 17-year-old. The 19-year-old died at the scene. 17-year-old is in the hospital now currently. And so I had made a post about it and things like that, and I was just sharing how I had not been out to do ministry, street ministry in this way, as to, going to the crime scenes and be there for hours, since July 2023, when a young man was killed. He was 27, and he was like, I look at him like my second son, because he was my son's best friend, and I had known him since middle school. So I had not, like really did street ministry like the Lord had instructed me, because I allowed grief to take over. I allowed survivor's remorse, even as a parent, parents have survivor's remorse, like when their child's friends deceased, and it was just a thing that I was dealing with, and I knew it was of the enemy, and it was just like a lot. But the Lord delivered me from that PTSD anxiety, because riding past where it happened, I would have anxiety. I couldn't look over there. I would get anxiety just when I get on the street, or when I start approaching it and things like that. But I started getting better when I made myself look over there. But then the Lord had me to go over there when that incident happened, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and he made me go to where the actual incident happened, get out the car. First I had to ride around the gas pumps, the Lord told me to do that because the incident happened over there. Then I had to get out the car, and the Lord was like, go in the store. And then I ended up talking to one of the cashiers. She was a blessing, just talking to her. She was amazing, and she just told me some incident that happened to her there at that same store. So I pray, that's a prayer target for me, that location. But anywho, so I was just sitting here before I went in the store, and I was thinking about the other young man, the 17-year-old. He survived, and I remember a few days before in Hampton, a young man was killed at the 7-Eleven, a 7-Eleven in Hampton, out Fox Hill. And I don't think I knew whether or not he was deceased or not at the time, but the Lord told me to go to the chapel. It was at night. It was like 8 something at night. The Lord was like, go to the chapel at the hospital and pray. So I was like, okay. So I went to the chapel and prayed. On my way there, the Lord had a song in my spirit, Shift the Atmosphere by Jason Nelson. So I was playing that song all the way there, got to the hospital in the chapel. I prayed this song. Usually I'll sit and pray, kneel and things like that, but the Lord said walk the chapel and pray. So it was just me in there. So I had my phone blasting that song, and I just walked it and prayed as the Lord led me. And then as I was walking and praying, then the Lord gave me a new song to play. The next song I played was I Speak Jesus by People in Song and Charity Gayle, I think that's her name. I speak Jesus in the streets. Oh, I can't even think how the song go right now. But I had I had prayed. I walked and prayed and walked and prayed to that song, round and round and round. So I'm just walking there. So then the Lord shifted again, the next song, and this was the last song, and it was You Will Live and Not Die, and it was the version by Shamika Goodman. She's from where I'm from, Suffolk, Virginia, and I love her rendition of it. And so I just played that over and over and over, and I just started praying about somebody living and not dying, and that was like heavy on me. And then when I think I was there, and I got a notification on my phone. So I already said one young man was murdered in Hampton earlier that day. I had found out later after I left the hospital that he passed. And then I found out that, I don't know if it was like maybe an hour or so before I got there, a young lady, I don't know how old she was, but a lady was shot in Yorktown, and she was brought to Riverside Hospital, and unfortunately she passed away this same day. And so I'm like, Lord, you saying shift the atmosphere. You having me speak Jesus to the atmosphere, and you're having me saying you should live and not die. You should live and not die. And so just then, as I started saying that about shift, when I said you had me to shift the atmosphere, the Lord put in my spirit that you're shifting the atmosphere. Yes, that day, people came to that hospital and they died, but the atmosphere shifted for that 17-year-old. The atmosphere shifted for that 17-year-old. Why? I don't know, because I know some people will see this video about, what about this person, what about that person? We don't know why God does what he does, why God allows what he allows. But I am just sharing with you what the Lord is giving me to share. So, but again, he was shifting the atmosphere of death for that 17-year-old, and then I remember when I was speaking Jesus, that when I was praising and worshiping and praying and speaking Jesus, I remember speaking to the young man's blood, to like whoever would come in. I was just like speaking to their blood, speaking to their body, speaking Jesus to their environment, speaking Jesus to their doctors, just speaking Jesus over the situation, just speaking Jesus. And I was like, Lord, let your blood come in and supply and feel what has left their body. It was just like, but I was just speaking Jesus from that song. And then the last song, you shall live and not die. And all I kept saying, no, you will not die. In the name of Jesus, you will not die. You will live to declare the works of the Lord. The Lord has a plan and a purpose for your life. And I was just like, wow. So I prayed. I was there at the hospital like an hour. And when I left, I found out, these people died. I'm like, so then, the enemy come plant seeds of doubt. Oh, you praying this, people died, and this, that, and the other. But we don't know why God has us do what we do. So in my flesh, I'm thinking I'm praying for the incident that happened that day. And the Lord is like later speaking to me and showing me, no, you are speaking to what is about to come. Like that 17-year-old that was on his way to that hospital in a couple of days. You were shifting that atmosphere for him. Now here's the thing. Somebody might see, well, you read why he in here, you read what happened and why this, that, and the other happened. That don't matter. Because despite of what transpired to cause this, the Lord still has a plan and a purpose in everything. So it's not up to me or you to sit and complain, about X, Y, and Z, because it's like, the incident with my son's best friend. 2 people got shot that day, and my son's best friend, he is the one that died. So I understand how it feels when you have 2 people get shot in the same incident, and one dies and the other lives, and the one close to you dies but the other one lives. So so I understand that. No, it wasn't my son, but it was someone that was like super close to me, so it's like I understand the hurt and being mad at God and things like that. So I'm not just sitting up here yapping. Unfortunately I have some experience with that. So despite of the reasons that is in the newspaper, despite of what we see, despite of rumors going around on social media and this, that, and the other, there is a reason that the Lord allowed that other young man to live. We don't know. We don't know. Now, he may spend a long time in jail after he gets better. We don't know. But I'm just talking about the situation now and what the Lord shared with me for, like, going to the hospital and shifting the atmosphere, speaking Jesus to the atmosphere, to the people, to the people, meaning him, the doctors. I can't even remember everything that I spoke. And then even, like, declaring life over. And then, like, this is how the Lord works for me. Because, like, as I'm talking, the Lord is like revealing stuff to me. So it's just like, now it's like, even, you know, the Lord is showing me that it was not just for him either. It's a shift in that place. And I pray that it continues to shift in that place, in that hospital. You know, of course, unfortunately, things like that is going to happen. You know, and we just pray for a shift. So I just pray for the young man. I pray for the family of the other young man. I met them out there at the scene. You know, I just pray for them. I just been praying for them because I can't even imagine, you know, what they are going through. It's just like a lot. So I've been praying for them, and it's just a lot. Even like with doing this ministry, like I have to deal with both. You know what I'm saying? Both sides of both sides of the equation, I guess, so to speak. You know, both young men and things of that nature. And but yeah, so I pray for the 17-year-old, and I pray justice for the 19-year-old. I pray justice for his murder, for, you know, all involved. You know, I pray justice will prevail. So that's all I wanted to get up here and say. So let me go ahead up in here in this store, and you all be blessed.